Hi everyone, it's me, Mrs. M again, back for another biscuit recipe for you. Tonight we're going to be doing a gingerbread recipe and they're going to be blood splattered, ready for Halloween. So let's get ready and show you all the ingredients. As usual, wash your hands, warm soapy water, I've done mine. Here's your ingredients. Right guys, so here we go with our ingredients. We have 350 grams of plain flour over there. We have 125 grams of butter. We have 175 grams in the back over there of light soft brown sugar. On the plate here we have 2 teaspoons of ground ginger, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon and 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. We also have an egg and 4 tablespoons of golden syrup, which is in the cup. Right, let's get started. Okie dokie, so here we go. We start with our flour, which we've got here. Then what we want to do is we want to place our cinnamon, our ginger and our bicarb in the bowl with our flour, like so. And we want to just give that just a little mix. Right, then what we want to do is we want to add our butter in. So we want to just break bits off into our flour mixture, getting our fingers involved again. We like this one. And what we're trying to do is we're incorporating the butter and the flour together to try and make a breadcrumb consistency. So just rubbing it through our fingers like so, trying to break up all the big bits of butter, as well as also bring all the flour together with the butter. This is the same sort of technique you use to make a crumble as well, which obviously if you guys want to see that, feel free to comment and we'll squeeze a video of a nice crumble in there somewhere. That's it, and you just keep going until you've managed to break up all the big bits of butter. Keep looking through again. If you find any bigger bits, just crumble them down, grab a bit of flour, keep working it through your fingers, making sure you're breaking up any larger bits of butter you find. There we go. It's that kind of consistency, guys, as you can see there. There we go, I'm happy with that. Right, so once you've done that, you then want to sift in your sugar. So obviously, got our sugar there. Get our sieve. You might want to just give that a working with the spoon. So once you've sifted all your sugar in, just give it a little mix with your spoon, or even with your fingers. As you add your fingers in there, I don't suppose it really matters. Right, at which point we're going to combine our egg and our syrup together. So put your egg in your cup with your syrup. Oh, look at that! Hey, look, we got a double yolker. Wow, that has got to be good luck. Everybody, don't you think? I reckon it's got to be. They say that about double yolkers, don't they? It's good, yeah, good luck. Anyway, mix that together. Give it a good beat together. That is a very strange feeling. I have never mixed together egg and golden syrup. I have now. It just feels very strange. And there we go. Right. Then what we want to do, let's just move these bits out of the way, is we want to combine that with our flour mixture. Make sure we've got it all out the bottom of the cup. So we'll give that a mix. Okay, at which point again we're going to get our fingers in. So make sure you scrape it all off your spoon. Make sure there's none left. And we're squeezing it all together to try and form a dough. Well, there we go, it's starting to come together a bit now. Just keep working it with your hands, obviously, until it all comes together. Might not look like it to start with, but it will come together. And if not, like mentioned before, my tried and trusted thing, just add a tiny little bit of water to it, just to combine it together a little. Just a little bit, to bring it all together. Oh, look at me making a mess again, everybody, look. And as you can hear in the background, my oven is on and whirring. For this recipe, you need it preheated to 180 degrees C. So when you've got it all together, obviously trying to get as much in it as you can. What you want to do is just give it a bit of a knead. So I think that's probably as much as I'm going to be able to get in that ball. This for some reason is not liking me tonight. So give it a bit of a bit of a knead and a squash together. Again, you might want to flour your surface just to make sure that nothing sticks to it. Like so. Don't want to work it too much. Get all this off my fingers. I've got more on my fingers, everybody, than I have on the ball of dough. There we go. Right, now what you want to do, I'm going to quickly wash my hands and get some of this off, is you want to chill this now. So you either need to wrap it in cling film, or another trick of mine, if you haven't got any cling film, which for some reason I have not this evening, is to put it in a sandwich bag. Exactly the same thing, it wraps it up, and you want to stick it in the fridge and just chill it for 15 minutes. So let's get myself a sandwich bag. Out they come. There we go. There we go, and you want to stick that in the fridge for 15 minutes. Right everyone, so that's our 15 minutes up, and there is our dough out of the fridge. So I've lightly floured the surface. There we go, and the same again, I'm going to do my rolling pin as usual. Just make sure nothing sticks. Right, and then we're giving this a good roll out again. Moving it around in your flour. Ooh. So once you've rolled all your dough out, you get your cutter. We're just doing round circles again because they're going to be blood splattered gingerbread, and you just cut as many out as you can from the dough that you've got. So you keep going and going, as you can see. Just like that. Right, then you want to get your baking tray, or actually just take them over to your baking tray. Now the key is to make sure that you leave a gap in between them, just in case they spread a little. There we go, just squeeze as many as you can on, but also making sure you've left enough gap. Right, I think that'll do, so there we go. Then you want to put these in the oven for 12 to 15 minutes. So, stick mine in. I'm going to stick 12 minutes on my handy kitchen timer on my microwave. Off that goes. And then, as mentioned before, just bring all this dough back together. You might need to put a bit more flour on your surface and maybe on your rolling pin again. Like I said before, it's surprising how many biscuits you'll get out of one ball of dough. Right, so we carry on and we roll this out again, moving it around in the flour to make sure that it doesn't stick, and then we do the same again. Just keep cutting out your circles. Now obviously just move them all to one side if you've only got one baking tray. If not, 2 in the oven is absolutely fine. Just make sure that when you get them out, they're both equally baked on both trays. Right, I will keep cutting these out and I will leave you there, and I will come back to you when we get the biscuits out the oven. See you shortly. So everyone, here we have our gingerbreads all out of the oven and nice and cooled and ready to go. So what we need now is 280 grams of icing sugar, which I've sifted into the bowl. We need some cold water, which I've got here. And we are going to simply put a tablespoon at a time of the cold water into the icing sugar. Now you want to do this just a tablespoon at a time because you need very little water to icing sugar to make the right consistency. So let's start giving that a little stir. So obviously one hasn't really done a lot, so let's put another one in, and we'll put 3 in, I think, and go from there. Now you want the consistency of this icing enough that it can be piped. So you don't want it too runny, but then again you don't also want it too thick because it won't go through your piping bag. So as you can see at the moment, it's quite thick. So I think I'm going to add just one more, which for me totals 4 tablespoons. Now you're going to want to give it a really good mix because you don't want a load of icing sugar left over. You want it all nicely mixed together. See, as you can see, that's still reasonably thick, but I think that's would be fine to pipe. There we go. Now what you want to do is you want to spoon out probably 1/3 of this icing sugar into another bowl, because that is going to be used with our red food colouring to make our blood splatters. Now what you also want to do is make sure you cover that over. So just get yourself some foil just so that it doesn't set. Because the last thing we want is it for it to go rock solid so that we can't use it. So, right. I think that's the right consistency to be piped. I might just add a tiny, tiny bit more. It just seems a tiny bit thick. Just don't want to get it in the piping bag and then we can't get it out again. Yeah, that's better. That's a bit looser. Right, there we go then. Right, so now you want to get your piping bag. Now, my trick for using a piping bag, so basically here we go, look, disposable piping bag and just a little nozzle with the round end on. Now I find that if you put it in a cup or a mug like this, then you can open it up, push it over the sides of the mug, like so, and it just makes it a lot easier to fill it, because then you can just spoon in your mixture and it doesn't make so much mess. See? A lot easier than trying to scrape it in. So we want to put all of that into there, like so. I think that will probably be enough. You just want enough to do an edge around all of the biscuits. So give it a shake down as I'm doing. Then what you want to do is you want to twist the top. Whoop. As you can see, it's coming out already. Right, so we'll get our biscuits back. And what you want to do is you want to pipe just around the outside of your biscuits like so, just to make an edge so that when you put the filling in the middle, it doesn't all go squirting down the edge of your cookies. So you just want to go cookies, biscuits, you knew what I meant, right? So round we go, look, and we keep going just round the outside, just in a little bit from the edge. Okay, and we keep going all the way around all our biscuits. Like so. And if any of you guys have never used a piping bag before, it's pretty simple. You're just giving a gentle squeeze. Don't want to squeeze too hard that you break the piping bag. Just want to give a gentle, gentle squeeze. Like so. And keep going until all this is done. A couple more. Then what we're going to do with this is these are going to go into the fridge and chill for 10 minutes, just until these little circles that we've done around the outside have set, so that when we put the middle of the icing in, it doesn't all leak everywhere. Right, so just put that around the edge of your cup again. So there we go, that's what it looks like. Stick those in the fridge for 10 minutes and let them chill. Like I said, what you want to make sure you do is just cover any remaining icing that you have left, just so it doesn't set solid. I'm just going to put some foil around there. And I shall check back with you in 10 minutes. So everyone, this is how they look when they come out of the fridge. As you can see, this bit's all quite nice and set. Right, so now what we need to do is take the remainder of our icing that we have left, which is here. We've covered it so it's still quite loose. There we go. And we want to get a little teaspoon, which I can guarantee you I won't have. Don't know why my house seems to have a shortage of teaspoons. Right, and we want to just get a little of the icing and we want to just spoon it on, such as this, and spread it out just up to the sides. And hopefully the fact that we've put the sides on should stop it from all seeping out everywhere and going too far the way we don't want it to go. I must say, my children did have a sneaky taste of a few of the gingerbreads before we had a chance to ice them, and they went down very, very well, which, to be fair, doesn't surprise me with my children. They are big fans of anything Mummy seems to bake at the moment. Not saying it's going to last forever, but at the moment seems to be going alright. Now again, mention this every single recipe, totally up to you how neat and tidy and precise you want to do it. I try my hardest to be neat and tidy, but it doesn't always work. There we go, and you just keep spreading it on, spreading it round. So. And actually, before I'd done this recipe, it was never a trick I'd ever thought of using before doing the edges first, but definitely one I'd use again. Sometimes the whole seeping down the sides look is not so bad when all the icing sort of runs, but sometimes you want it to look a bit more precise, don't you? We all have our moments. Okay, so basically you just carry on until all of your biscuits are covered, and then what you want to do is you want to stick them back in the fridge again for another 20 minutes, again to set the white icing up so that we can splatter it with our red coloured icing to make the blood. So as not to bore you, I shall leave you there, and I will come back to you in a few minutes and show you how to splatter them all with the blood. See you shortly. Right, so there we have it. 20 minutes in the fridge, and that's what we've got. Right, so now we want to make our blood splatters. So we're going to take the rest of our icing that we've got left, and we're going to add some red food colouring. Give that a stir. Ooh, look at that. I'm going to add a few more drops because it's gone a little pink. We want it blood red, don't we? So I'm also going to add a little bit more water to it because this is quite thick, as you can see, and we want it reasonably runny so that we can sort of splatter it over our biscuits. Still going to add a few more drops of colour because at the minute it's still quite pink. That's better. That's more a blood colour. There we go, look. It's more the colour we're looking for. Now I would say that consistency is about right. It's quite runny, and that's what we're aiming for. Right, now what you want to do is you want to get your biscuits, and we are going to dunk a fork into the icing, and we are literally just going to do that all over our biscuits. Any way, shape or form, there's no right or wrong way to do this bit, and you can do as much or as little as you like. It's totally up to you. Some can have more on, some can have less on. This is a good messy bit, so whatever goes. Just like that. And there we go, I think that's enough. And like I said, we've got loads of icing left over, so just cover it over, stick it in the fridge, and you're good to go. Look, there we go. Now you want to put them back in the fridge to set, probably for another 5 or 10 minutes, just so they're completely hard. And then we will check back in at them when they are completely finished. So there we have it. All set out of the fridge and ready to go, our blood splattered gingerbread. Now I hope you guys like the recipe. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon.